in their factory. They decided that there was a better idea, and so long story short is after some months of preparing, playing with the waste, creating a slurry, somebody else then, well, now we got the slurry created, we need to form this food. And so they drilled this piece of plywood. It's 8 inches by about 18 inches. And they drilled, and the top row is 1-inch holes, and the bottom rows are all 3/4 inch holes. And they don't have written records, so everything I'm telling you is basically analysis after the fact. So we're presuming that they tried both sizes. They ended up with a 3/4 inch size. And that's still the size today in most of the products. There are some of the products they've shrunk to where the tater tots fall through the 3/4 inch hole, but most of the time they're just perfectly formed.
Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. That was Leslie Grigg that you just heard at the opening. He is the great-grandnephew of the inventors of tater tots, F. Nephi and Golden Grigg. So we're going to talk about tater tots, the importance of legacy and the foundation. You can also find out more information by going to protectyourtots.com. And not only is this about the legacy of the tater tot and the importance of the legacy of tater tots, but they are also a nonprofit organization that are committed to child abuse prevention. So please sit back, listen, and enjoy. And remember, thank you very much for coming here, and like, share, and comment. So before we get started, remember, please be a responsible pet owner and have your pets spayed or neutered.
So that board then was put after the production started. A decision was made to mount the original board, on the wall of the production facility in Ontario, Oregon. And that wall location is the home of the Holey Board today. In 1965, Orida Foods was acquired by Heinz Corporation, by Heinz Ketchup. So from 1965 forward, the tater tot became our family story. My first job in the 4th grade was working at the Orida factory with my mom. We were the vending machine caretakers, and we would drive to the plant every day and fill the vending machines with food. Our house was where we stored all the vending machine food.
Oh, wow.
So at a very early age, I was exposed to the Orida history. It influenced me in a great way, and when I entered the workforce in 1978, I wanted to be an entrepreneur like my uncle. It was so fascinating. And I ended up joining E.F. Hutton & Company basically as a stockbroker, then spent the next 43 years with Merrill Lynch as a financial advisor. In 2018, I got a phone call from CBS Sunday Morning, and they wanted our help in giving them the history of Tater Tots so that they could produce a broadcast that was known as In Praise of Tater Tots, which was aired on November 18th, 2018. And this episode got me thinking about this legacy and what I should do with it. We attempted, and we knew one thing. My cousin and I, Steve, he's the youngest son of Nephi. We had 2 things that we knew had to change. Number one is the Holey Board needed to be told. The story of the Holey Board was an injustice to the fans and the American culture of tater tots, hiding away in a secret place where nobody knows of its existence. And the other thing, we wanted our family legacy to be known for doing good in our communities, like all the major brands. And the reason I think that hasn't happened is that since 1965, Orida Foods Corporation has been one of, I think they had 20 brands with Heinz Ketchup, and they have 70 brands with Kraft Heinz. So those entities aren't interested in making each one of those brands a charitable interest, like the Hershey's and some of those charitable Ronald McDonald charities. All the other brand names, they only have one business to deal with, and so their success has created these charitable entities, and the tater tot has been left out of the picture. We wanted to change that. So we finally got an agreement made with Kraft Heinz Corporation legal department and with Simplot Corporation, who now owns Orida production nationwide. And that gave birth to our foundation, the F. Nephi and Golden Grigg Legacy Foundation, for the purpose of unveiling the story of the Holey Board and building our charitable foundation for child abuse prevention.
Yeah, it's it's needed. I mean, the legacy is important. You have kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably can't call them kids now, though, right? I'm not saying you're getting old, but we're all getting older. But yeah, it's important, I think, for the family legacy. I think because that teaches many other people the importance of their family legacy. So, and then this, right now, your foundation to help the underprivileged children and the communities is so important, I think, especially right now and moving forward. About the documentary now is completed. Is that correct?
No, we
Okay.
are in the production stage, and we are desirous of beginning to raise money right now so we can hire a producer and get it moving.
All right. How can we help out? How can the audience help out?
Um, well, if anybody would like to donate, they can go to www.tatertotquest.com. That's the website for the documentary, and click the donate button and donate.
Um, so what is it that you want to be able to show? You mentioned a little bit about the documentary, what you want to be told, the story of the Holey Board. It's just hidden away. We need to bring this out. Uh, it's Is it going to be like a Marvel universe? Is it going to constantly change? Is that Holy Board going to be some fantastical thing, or what is this legacy in the story of the Holy Board that you really want to get out?
Well, one of the interesting parts of the story that's again lost in time, and lost because I think it was a bad decision. It wasn't a bad decision in 1954 to place the Holy Board on the wall. The bad decision was over the next 70 years, nobody cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, from our perspective as a family, it's synonymous with saying, oh, we've got all these wonderful books, but who cares about the printing press?
I don't know how to put it into words, but the tater tot is everywhere. Everyone around the world knows the name, knows what it looks like, but I think the interesting thing would be where did it come from? Did somebody make it by
The
hand?
other unknown in terms we have an industry today that's called the snack food industry. The snack food industry in 1953 or 1956 was very minimal, but if you look at today's what they call the formed food industry, which is basically what the snack food industry is, the Holey Board was one of the very first formed food tools in American food manufacturing.
Mm,
And it's an unknown entity. It's a travesty in my perspective.
yeah. Well, the first thing I thought about when you were saying that the Holy Board was made, and you had 1 inch rows at the top and 3/4 down at the bottom, I was thinking Fine Golden were way ahead of their time trying to figure out that right size. It's a bite size. It's a perfect bite size snack that's become a meal. I know people who make a meal out of them as well. So it's one of those I don't know how to put it again. It's it's a story that needs to be told because again, we are so familiar with it. So familiar. And I see the background image that you have of you holding a
Yeah,
holy
that's a replica. That's a replica board. I've played around with it a lot. Like I said earlier, there are no written records as to what they did. So everything that we are saying is based upon my own experimentation with the board in my kitchen, experimenting with how to make tater tots, how to put them through the board, how to form them. One of the things I discovered is if I put a backer board on the Holey Board and put the potato slurry in the holes, it forms a lot better. than if I just try to form them inside the hole and then push them through. So that's one of the things I do is I be sure that there's a backer board on the board when I form the tater tots.
So you're actually trying to recreate what you think how it was first put together, how it first came about. Did they taste good? As good as
Yeah.
lightly salted? Perfect.
And I've tried it. I've tried it in every which way. I've peeled the potatoes, cooked the potatoes, blanched the potatoes. I've used Orida hash browns. Just chop up the hash browns and try to make a shortcut so it doesn't take 2 hours to make it. And it doesn't matter. It all tastes the same.
But we know that the look is part of the deal. Oh, well, so now you do have another website where it's the first thing about it is you're trying to help like the underprivileged community in children. And that site, is it protectyourtots.com?
Yes. Protectyourtots.com.
So what's the purpose
So
of all of this and why the importance of, you know, underprivileged kids? It sounds like a silly question, but for somebody such as yourself, Merrill Lynch, you're successful, you're probably retired, enjoying life. Why do this to bring more work upon yourself?
I have for I'm going to say 20 years, I have had this nagging question in my mind as to how come, in the state of Idaho produces 1/4 of the nation's potato crop. That has been pretty much the standard for 4 to 5 decades. Nobody ever did a Tater Tot Festival, and I couldn't comprehend that. And then, like I say, the second one, actually the second and third, the second is that I always wondered why isn't there, we have documentaries on every other food that you can think of. How come we don't have a documentary on tater tots?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one of the myths is that floats around, I'm going to say 70 to 80% of all of the articles that I read on the tater tot story, there's a sentence in there, something to the effect, the tater tot was an accident.
And
It was not an
I've
accident.
heard that too, of saying it was an accident.
It was a deliberate attempt by two creative people to turn trash to treasure.
I guess because it was the remnants of what of chopping up the potatoes and stuff like that, right?
Yes, yes. And that's what they did. They were one of the first manufacturing companies in America, food manufacturing companies, to turn trash into treasure.
That just sounds funny you saying that, and we're eating it. Yeah, I guess that's true. We do eat garbage, but in this case, it's great. Now, part of the story too, was it Golden or Nephi that really kind of drove across the country, and was it there part of a story where um, they served him up on a tray at a benefit of some sort or something like that?
Yes, so 1950, in December of 1953, the Fontainebleau Resort Hotel had their grand opening in Miami, Florida. And I've been piecing this together. So somewhere in 1954, there was a convention being held there, and it's sketchy as to what organization, whether it was potato growers or food growers or what. That information is kind of sketchy, but they heard about the convention, so they made their way with 15 pounds of tater tots to Miami, Florida from Ontario, Oregon, and they knocked on the door of the Miami Fontainebleau Resort, and they told the head chef that he would cook these 15 pounds of tots, place them on a plate on every table, that they would give him a $100 bill. And that happened, and the tater tot was a success of the convention, and that was kind of the launching point of the national marketing pathway.
Yeah, I love that. I love that story. I would love to see a reenactment of that in your documentary. Uh,
And I had another really interesting deja vu. I recently produced my own personal story on a program called Inside Success TV. And so we were filming on Inside Success TV in Miami, Florida. We did my filming thing of the TV episode, and so I was making an attempt. I thought it'd really be cool if I could convince the Fontaine Blue to partner with me on a marketing campaign, and I'm still working on that project. So I hope that can happen sometime.
Well, if you're listening out there, Fontaine Blue, anybody, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. It's anybody that tags along with Tater Tot is gonna win because again, it's that name that we all know. Do you have? Uh, has there been much work done with the documentary, or is it really in that
Yeah,
pre-production process right now?
it's ready to go. We have a producer waiting, he's wanting to get to work, and I would like to get to work, and so all we need is about $25,000-$30,000 to get him working. The documentary project has a budget of about $300,000. We started with the idea of doing a short documentary, but the current producer is convinced that we can do a 60-minute documentary. So we're wanting to move forward. We're just trying to figure out how to get that financed.
Well, hopefully this is going to help out because, again, you kind of alluded to the fact that um, there's a lot of foods that have a story behind it, and a lot of the other manufacturers and foods have had some sort of, we'll call it a documentary made, but I don't think they have as a significant role or place in, can I say, American society and the history as does the tater tot. Again, because of the fact that not knowing the story, I've known the name all my life. I saw it in the bag. My mom served it up for lunch. I got it for dinner. I got older. I had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I go out, choice of fries or tots, I'll take tots. Like I said, it's just one of those things that's been around seemingly forever, but who knows how it got here. It's like the Big Bang Theory. Bam, and there it is. Can we talk again just a little bit more about your foundation as far as helping out the underprivileged kids in the community there? Because I do think that that's, just as important as the story of Tater Tot.
Yes, it
And I don't
is,
know,
and I'm convinced that that in time, it's just going to take time, but in time, my dream is to have as much of a presence as Ronald McDonald Charities in the communities around us. And I've worked with the Ronald McDonald Charities in my public service. They do great work. One of the areas that I have spent the last 38 years, almost 39 years in my public service, working with all different types of organizations involved in child abuse prevention. One of those organizations on a national level is the National Exchange Club. They own 30 something, what they call child abuse prevention centers around the country. And they also, I've been worked with the Know to Protect campaign with our Department of Homeland Security. About 2023, they announced an initiative called Know to Protect. We're promoting that whole program. There is another program that's called Darkness to Light. Darkness to Light has been around the communities for 30, 40 years. That whole program is intended to teach parents and educators how to help their children recognize problems. A good friend of mine, Richard Westowski, travels the country. He's from Illinois, teaching policemen how to spot predators. So there's a lot of good work going on. And I'm looking for ways to partner with organizations across the country. As we raise money, I want to have ways to energize these programs, take them to the next level. And it all requires a consistent effort of collaboration and working together and funneling money.
Everything really does take funding to do something. And I think if it's important to you out there, support your organization of choice or support this because it's a very good cause. And this is a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes.
So, which means that they'll be able to do a tax deduction. So, if you give any type of contributions, keep that in mind too, folks. If you're one of those that can add up things and make it work for you, contribute. And even if you can't,
100%. We intend that as this documentary goes forward and completes its path, 100% of the profits that we do earn from this documentary will all go directly towards child abuse prevention efforts.
Oh, okay. That's very good to know. I'll make sure I have all the links and everything in the show notes for all the viewers and listeners to just, click on it and just go check it out. It's important. It is. If you're going to eat it, you got to pay for it. There's that tagline. No, but it really, in all seriousness, I've been saying throughout this whole conversation that, I grew up with that name. I know it. There's many of us who know that name, Tater Tot. And if you want to be able to do something, this is part of being able to help out, is with helping the child abuse in underprivileged communities. And again, for the website on this one, go to protectyourtots.com. So, Leslie, anything else that you want to fill us in on that is happening? Anything in the stock market that we should be looking forward to? ETFs, is that good? Or
Well, I'll mention one thing about the stock market. It has been my hobby for 40 years, 43 years. I love the markets. I love the whole concept of what free markets do. And I just have a dyed in the wool belief that markets are great. Markets function. When markets function, we all benefit.
yeah.
And that's what I love about the market system that we have in America. It's there to help those who want to pay the price and learn how to make it work for them. And it's the best system, best economic system on the planet. So,
Like I said, if you eat it, you pay the price. Pay it. This has been a lot of fun. I enjoyed the last time we had a conversation. Again, the important part about this is the organization, the foundation, and getting the documentary created. I'm looking forward to being able to see that documentary. Leslie, again, thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us today to, talk to us about the documentary and about your foundation to help out kids and underprivileged organizations or underprivileged communities. So thank you very much.
thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're welcome.